Hello there. Welcome to Global Staffing and Business Solution videos. This is another video that we put in out to add value to your life. And the essence of this is to help you in your job search so that we give you the ammunition essentially that you need to be able to navigate through all the problems that you have towards getting that job that you always wanted. I also want you to know that our sole objective here is to help you in any way whatsoever and equip you with the knowledge that you need to be able to get that job that you always wanted. My name is Ralph Uzokwe, and today I will be talking to you about how you could still get the job after they've said no. Or you can say how you can still get the job after you go to the interview and they say, well, we're going to call you, which is what they always say, they're going to call you, but they never call you. Or, they indirectly blow you away, per se. So today, before we dive in, okay, I want to tell you a little story, okay? I've been hiring people for about 25 years, and essentially, I know exactly what the employers want. I mean, I hire people for my company, so I know exactly what people like. I know what I want. I know the kind of employees that I want. Okay? Those people that will go above and beyond. And I want to tell you a story about Miss Jane. Okay? Miss Jane was one of the ladies that I interviewed. I interviewed for a nurse practitioner. Okay, I interviewed probably about 40 people, and after the end of the interview, I was so confused. Tell you the truth, I was really confused. It seemed like everybody told me the same thing, and there was really no differentiation between one person to the other person, and that when after the whole interview, I was totally exhausted. I had 40 interviews or for some interviews, and I didn't know who to hire. Okay? Now, if you go to an interview, one thing I advise you to do is find a way to differentiate yourself from the pack. If you're interviewing 40 people, somebody has to do something that will sediment in your mind that makes that person different. Okay? Because let's just face it, everybody has just about the same qualification. Everybody talks just about the same. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody's trying to impress you. But what are they doing different? That's what you have to ask yourself. What are you doing different? Okay? Now, she went to an interview. Okay? Yeah, she went to an interview, and after she went to an interview, she's one of my students. She went to an interview and she called me. She said, I think the interview went great. And she told me what she said and everything like that. And I said, okay, I think it went great. But you don't tell me anything that you did to differentiate you from the rest of the pack. And she said, well, I said, you know what we're going to do? Now that you just came back from the interview, okay, there are things that we're going to put in operation, okay, so that this will differentiate you from the rest of the people. Because let's just face it, only about 5% of the people who go to an interview always call back. Okay? Only probably about 3 or 4% of the people who go to an interview will send you a thank you card. The same thing with emailing you and saying thank you, because I interview people all the time. Okay, what happened was that I told her, I said, you know what you're going to do? Go ahead and email him. Email him and say, hey, thank you for taking time and speaking with me and meeting with me. I really enjoyed our talk together. And what you need to do at this time is you know what the employers are looking for. And you know what you did. You know what you said. So you got to tailor your letter towards the fact that they have a problem and that you're qualified to solve that problem for them. Okay? Let me give you an example. You're a medical assistant, okay? And they say, well, we need somebody who can do x-rays, who can do give injections, who can do you can do so many things. So what you want to do in your letter is say something like, thank you for taking time to talk to me. I really enjoyed our talk, and I believe very, very strongly this is another opportunity to sell yourself. I really believe very strongly that my qualifications qualifies me for this job, and I'm very enthusiastic to get this job because I know I can add value to your company. In your ad, you said you needed somebody can do this, and I've done all of those quite well for my previous company, and I'm very excited for the opportunity for you to allow me, to show you what I can do. And in that letter, you might even take a bold statement, okay? And this is what she did. She wrote the letter just like I told you. I told her to write the letter and said thank you. She sent him an email first, okay? What I suggest is that if you're gonna do three things at the same time. You're gonna send a thank you note. You're gonna send an email, okay? And you're gonna make a phone call, okay? I've listed it over here. Email, thank you card, make a phone call. So in the email, if you send the person an email and they don't respond, every 2 to 3 days, send them another email. And each time you send the email, vary what you say. But the key to it is just to thank the person for the opportunity they're giving you to talk to you. Secondly, list their requirements and convince the person on how you are qualified to solve the problem that they have. And on top of it, tell the person how you can add value. Okay? Now, what happened was that she did what I told her to do. Surprisingly, first of all, every week, she sent about 2 to 3 emails every week. Secondly, she sent a thank you card the first time. After about a week, she sent the second thank you card. I want you to understand something. A lot of time when people interview people, okay, you get confused on who to really pick. It happens to so many recruiters. They interview people, but they don't know who to pick. But see, this is your opportunity to shine. Okay? When you reach back to the person. Because when you reach back to the person, it's a psychological thing. What does the person think? What they're starting to think is like, okay, I did all these interviews. And a lot of time, even the person they pick, okay, they're not really sure of the people they pick for like a second interview or a third interview. And they're still shaking their mind. But when you start writing these letters, you send them an email, like two emails every week. Send them the thank you letter, one thank you letter in the first week. The second week, send them another thank you letter. Okay? Then make phone calls. Every 2 days, follow up with a phone call. A lot of time you might not get the person directly, but leave a message. Leave a message with the receptionist. If you make at least one phone call to the person every 2 days, I guarantee you that in about the third phone call, the receptionist is going to get tired of you. And make sure that he forwards the letter to you. She forwards the letter to whoever it is that interviewed you. Look, it's a psychological thing, okay? The more you show somebody that you're really interested, okay? It's not just writing letters or this, but whenever you write an email, make that email impactful. Have an impact in your email. Secondly, when you send them a card, send them a nice card, say thank you for everything. Tell them that you really like a chance to show them what you can do, that you have fulfilled all their requirements, and that you feel that you're going to be an asset to them, and that you've done these things before and you want to do it for them again. So this is so powerful. I've had people that, like I told you, Jane eventually, when she did everything I told her to do, they called her back. And when they called her back, it wasn't like interviewing 40 people. It was like interviewing her and a few more people. And she was able to get that job after she has been turned down. You see that? So that's what I'm talking about. Don't give up because you go to an interview and you don't hear from them in the first week. Okay? Now, even if you do everything, for the first 1 month after you do the interview, make sure that every 2 days you send an email to the guy. Unless he writes you back and say, well, this position has been filled. In which case, if he says this position can be filled, tell him that it's unfortunate, but, could that person keep you on file just in case you have, they have another opening? These things I'm telling you they are so powerful, because if you go to an interview and you do everything I tell you to do and you're really qualified and they've hired somebody else, and in 3 or 4 weeks another opening comes up, guess the first person that's going to be considered? You. Because of your persistence and because of the fact that you're trying to convince them that, hey, this job is for me, I can do this job, I'm willing to do this job, I'm enthusiastic about this job, and I can add value to your company. Most of the time, when a second job comes up, they don't even interview people, they just call you and talk to you again. And after they talk to you again, in most positions, you'll get the job. It's not a guarantee, but you are high on the list. So that you go to an interview and somebody says no the first time, okay, it's just like every other thing in life, okay? What have you wanted in life or asked for in life and it just rolls into your lap? Nothing. You have to go the extra mile to get anything that you want out of life, okay? I don't know about you, but in my life, I've failed more than I've succeeded. All right? And I know that so many times in my life, I want something and I've done it a certain way and it wasn't successful. I've started so many businesses that failed. Okay? But I never gave up. I tried it from different angles, but I stayed flexible. I had my goal, but I stayed flexible towards achieving that goal. If this doesn't work this way, this will work this way. But the most important thing in interview is leaving a lasting impression in everybody. Whoever is interviewing you, leaving a lasting impression in their mind. You might not be able to differentiate yourself when you go to that interview, okay? But you can always differentiate yourself after the interview by doing these things. Emailing the person at least every 2 days. Sending a thank you letter once a week. You might have to send about 4 thank you letters. when he reads the 3rd thank you letter, that person goes, I don't care who that person is. Me too. When you read the 3rd thank you letter, they're going to say, wait a minute now, this lady is very, very serious. And it shows the person that, number 1, you're enthusiastic, number 2, that you really want to work for the company, and this is what you say in your email. Okay? Make phone calls. When that secretary gets about 3 or 4 or 5, 6 phone calls from you, at the 7th phone call, it might take 10 phone calls before the secretary is able to pass you to say, hold on, let me get him on the phone. Probably so you can stop calling me, And at least when he talks to you and he says this position's been filled, it's your opportunity then to say, well, I want you to know that I'm really interested in the company. So if any other thing comes up, could you keep me on your file? If anything comes up, can you call me? I really want to work for you because I believe that I can add value to your life, make your job a little bit easier. Because who doesn't like somebody who's going to make their life easy? Huh? Who doesn't like that? That is why we like people. We like people that make our jobs easy for us. People that will help us. And so that's why you develop love, friendship for everybody, because whenever they talk to you, you're happier. But if you have somebody who makes you work too hard and all that, if you have a fellow employee that lazy around and makes you work too hard, sooner or later you're going to develop some kind of hatred for the person. But if you have somebody who will always do their job, if you have problems, they'll help you, you like that person. The same thing with a boss. If you have a boss that you can always go to, and say, hey, I see you're struggling. What can I do to help? that person can help you but love you. It's a psychological thing, you know? And so this is what I think is the most powerful ways to still get that job, even if they say no. Okay? If you do these things, I guarantee you, you know, even if it doesn't work for one employer, it will work for the other one. But in life, you gotta keep plugging away till you get what you want. That's the key. All right? Take care and put this in practice, okay? All right. Happy job hunting.